What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Imperfect Action Show. I'm your host, Stizzo, and I'm here with the amazing Terry Martin today. And I'm excited for this conversation because it's all about credit and why is credit necessary in your business. Some entrepreneurs are out here running credit, personal credit into our business. We're not really maximizing on OPM. So this is going to be a dope conversation for the next half an hour about how we get to the next level. And we always talk to 6, 7, 8-figure earners about some challenges, some pitfalls, some strategies, some tips and techniques to take us to the next level. So help me welcome Terry to the show.
Thank you.
How you
Thank you for
doing,
having
Bob?
me. I'm great. I am great. Thank you for having me. I'm excited. We've been trying to do this for a while now.
We here. We gonna get it. So thank you for being here with us today. Happy Wednesday. I forget what day we're on nowadays. It's like numbers instead of days, but it's March. Start of the month. Let's get everybody set up the right way. So tell us a little bit about your background, where you from, and what you do right now in your space.
So I'm Terry Martin. I'm from St. Louis, Missouri, born and raised. My wife and we moved to Atlanta, Georgia. I want to say about 6 years, almost 7 years ago now, because we needed a new scene. We needed
Mm,
scenery, and we needed to get away from all of the distractions. So we was born and raised in St. Louis, where we started our business, the Bright Future Group, where we started off with personal credit, and then as we geared towards doing other things, we noticed that being in St. Louis, it was like a black cloud over us. It was not much support. Obviously, they say you can't get support from your family and your friends, but at that time, when you first starting off in business, it's like, okay, well, who is going to support me? So what we
mhm.
did was we got away from all the noise, all the distractions, and I wanted to raise my sons up in a different atmosphere where they can be around like-minded people that their color, and they can see that you can be successful, in your own space. But we are in the financial space where we deal with personal credit, business credit, budgeting, all those things. We also, help entrepreneurs start businesses and get those businesses funded as well, so that they don't do what we did when we started, using our own personal cash and personal credit, trying to run our business, not knowing that that was a disaster because we almost lost our business about at least 10 times, because
Mhm.
when you use your personal credit, it tanks, your scores tanks. So it's like, okay, all right, let's use our cash, the cash that we've been making just from our clients. But at the end of the day, that cash not going back into the business. So it's like, okay, this might not work. We got to find another avenue. So yeah, we in a financial space where we help others, and what we do is we really just change lives.
Mhm. That's amazing. And I think more so in this time that we're in the world that we live in, is so much more important for our community, right, to really understand the aspects of credit and how credit works. Because for the most part, I know for me, I grew up in a household where my mom was paycheck to paycheck, right, robbing Peter to pay Paul. And that's kind of the mentality that we were taught from a very young age, is that money is of lack, there's scarcity, but we can only use our own. Like, we have to go to work, make the money, and utilize the money that we have from a paycheck, in that there's no other option out here to be able to fund ourselves or create businesses or anything like that. So I think what you all are doing is incredibly important, especially for our community. So in thinking about starting a business as an entrepreneur, someone who has, let's say, decent personal credit, they don't have any business credit, what's kind of the message you'll give to them in terms of the importance behind working towards getting business credit and not using their personal credit, outside of, like, your score gets impacted, your personal score gets impacted, but some of the benefits for starting out the right way and utilizing business?
Good question. So basically, it's all about, a lot of people say, well, I want to get business funding without having to use my personal credit. Well, if your business hasn't been in business for 2 years, it's probably going to be hard for you to get the type of funding that you actually need to really scale your business. So, first off, when you start your business, you want to make sure that the foundation is set properly. A lot of people get denied funding simply because they don't have a professional email address. A
Right.
lot of people get denied funding because they don't have a physical address where the lenders can actually see. The reason I know that, because I was one of them. So I had to find out the hard way where, okay, they don't really tell you that you got denied because of this reason. You got to kind of go and do the research on your own. So we had to go get a virtual address with Regis. And with that, by Regis having the actual physical building, the lenders were able to see that, okay, this is an actual building. So
Mhm.
that checks everything off the box, you know. So you want to make sure that your foundation is laid correctly, virtual address or physical address. A lot of people say, well, I got a home-based business. That's perfectly fine, but let's be completely honest. Having a home-based business is a liability because it's public record. You know, let's just say you do something wrong, God forbid. You know, these clients, if you got clients, some can get a little crazy and they research your business and they see that your business is the exact same as your home and they sitting outside your door waiting on you to come outside. That's a problem. It's a disaster, you know, waiting to happen. So we don't want to do everything. We don't want to do it that way. We want to separate our personal from our business and set everything up separately. And the reason why we're doing it is because when you set up a business, you got two lifelines. You
Mhm.
got your personal is a lifeline. You got your business is a lifeline. But back to your question, you want to when it comes to getting business funding, you definitely want to have decent credit. And because if you got decent credit and you just starting a business, you can go personal guarantee some 0% interest credit cards. If you got a
Mhm.
680 plus, you can go get a $30,000 business credit card right away. With Bank of America, you can get two business credit cards. I know we hear that all the time, but that's it's true. I've done it for three businesses that I actually own: my trucking business, my financial firm, and my real estate business. Like they will give you that, and then you can use those. You can liquidate those cards to go really scale your business and really do the things that you need to do. But a lot of people say, well, I want funding, I want funding, I want funding. If you're not structured properly, then you're not going to get the funding you need. If you don't have a strategy, you're going to mess all the money up because you're
Right.
going to have all this money, but you don't have no means to do anything with. So what you going to do with it? You're going to put it in marketing. You're going to hire people. What and I ask people this all the time, and people always say, I don't know. I just want the money. But I'm not
Mhm.
going to help you get the money if you have no strategy, because at the end of the day, this money has to be paid back.
Right.
And if you don't pay that money back, you're gonna lose your business. You're gonna be in debt, and we all know how that goes. When you go in debt, it's an uphill battle.
Right, for sure. Thank you for that. And what came to mind immediately when you said that and made that point is I think about when the panorama happened, right? And you had all these people getting PPP loans for their businesses. And some of them very legit businesses. So we'll speak on the legit businesses, but maybe they weren't in a situation where their mindset was right, like in the right place. They knew they didn't have a strategy. So they burned through that PPP loan very quickly because they didn't know what to do with it. And most of them had never seen that type of money before. So, what's your feedback in terms of the type of mindset that you needed getting into this business and the type of mindset that you really recommend for your clients to have before they can even say, yes, I want to apply for business credit and business funding to do this the right way?
Well, the mindset you got to have is a disciplined mindset. And the reason why I say discipline is because what I do is before I even help a client get funding, I look at their behaviors on the personal side.
Mm,
I'm also a lender. My wife and I, we also lenders. This is exactly what lenders do. They look at your behaviors on your personal side. And lenders goes as far as 24 months back. They do a 24-month look back on your personal behaviors. How have you been managing your personal finances? What have you been doing with this Discover Card for the last 24 months? What have you been doing it within the last 6 months? If that card has been maxed out at least 3 months out of the 6 months, then I know that you could be a financial risk. So
hmm
I won't give you that. I won't give you this loan that you're asking for. If you asking for 20, I might just give you 5 just to see what you would do with it.
right.
But at the end of the day, it's all about a disciplined mindset when it comes to getting into this space. Because, like you just said, a lot of people got their PPP money and didn't know what to do with it. No idea. So they blew it. They went to go get Rolexes, Rolls Royces, all that other stuff that didn't do anything for the business because we was in that phase where everything on social media was lifestyle.
Right.
If I look good, people I attract money. If I look good, I attract money. But at the same time, if you look good, you attract the wrong people because
Mhm.
you're going in it with a different mindset that's not going to help nobody.
Right.
So your personal behaviors is what matters most because that shows your personal credit shows your character. I'm
Mhm.
telling you, if you had a let's just say you got a 10 years worth of age on your credit, and you got at least five in revolving credit cards: Discover, Bank of America, Citi, Chase, and those credit cards has not been maxed out within the last 6 months, and you keep your utilization between 1 and 10%, you're more likely going to get the funding that you need. Why? Because even when you go get the funding with these banks, they got what's called a internal banking scoring system. So they see everything that you're doing with the banks, and you can go. It's a company called Check Systems where they can see all this information. If
Mhm.
you owe banks, they can see that. If you got something going on within your personal finance, it shows up on your credit profile. It
Right.
really do.
So why do you think, in knowing all that, right? There are some people who tend to think building their credit is this big complex monster and it's something that's just unachievable, right? Or you have those people who are like, I'm in such bad position right now with my credit that I don't even want to look at it. I don't even want to start to figure it out. What advice or a couple of tips would you give to those type of people that are sitting at home watching right now and they're like, "Oh, I'm probably at a like 540. I know I want to fix this thing, but I don't even want to deal with it because it just seems so scary," right? I think that happens a lot. People are fearful of just coming to the table and figuring out what they need to do to make it happen. So what advice would you give?
I would say don't be scared, because I promise you, I say this all the time to people I talk to every day. It's more than likely not bad as you think it is.
Hmm.
Because a lot of people say, man, my score's so low, my score's so low, my score's so low. Well, at the end of the day, it's not about your score. It's about the credit profile itself. The credit profile is what gets you approved. Your score is what determines your interest rate. So what we do is we optimize your credit profile in the eyes that the lenders like to see it. Making sure you got one variation of your name, your address, employer, making sure you got the right amount of revolving accounts, installment accounts, making sure you got the right healthy credit mix. Everything that's supposed to be on your credit profile, this is what the lenders are looking for. Because if you are doing right by these accounts within the next 6 months, 12 months, 24 months, they can see that, and it just shows your behavior patterns. So, what I will say is my advice is don't be afraid. Take a look at it. If you don't want to take a look at it, have somebody else take a look at it. They'll look at it for free. Hell, I'll look at it for you for free. And I'll tell you exactly what you need to do to optimize your personal credit profile so that you can get the funding that you need to get. Now, it's not an overnight process. I will say that, because so many people get into it and they want instant gratification. It's not an overnight process. But the first action is taking a look at it. Like,
Hmm.
how are you going to be able to get the funding or start the business or get a high credit score and have a strong personal credit profile if you don't even want to look at it?
Right.
Take the fear out of it. Don't be it's not scary at all. I promise you that.
Right. And someone always has it worse, right? That's the
Oh yeah.
worst. Someone
I
always has it worse. Figure it out, right? And you went through it, so you have the knowledge for it, and the fact that you are a lender, you and your wife, like you have an upper hand in terms of the areas of expertise in figuring this out for folks because you know exactly what to look for. So I think that's super dope. So what are some direct like credit hacks that someone could use to get and make some additional money for their business?
Well, I won't necessarily say hacks. We always use the term hacks. One thing I would say is, if you are in position, or if you're not in position, get in position. We know this economy is crazy right now. So right now is the best time to put yourself in position where you are working on your credit. Therefore, on the other side of what we're finna go through or what we're experiencing, because a lot of people are not ready right now.
Mm-hmm.
So putting yourself in position is going to get you to the next level. This is not a hack at all. It is common sense. Getting yourself in position will take you to the next level. Like, it's no one trick pony when it comes to your credit. Like, all you gotta do is focus on the things that's negative on your credit profile, remove those negative listings. If you got debt on there, pay down that debt. If you got credit card debt, if you got late payments, try to dispute those late payments, get those late payments removed. If you got inquiries, get those inquiries off of there. You can call the bureaus right now and get those inquiries removed. Why? Because inquiries, they stay on your credit profile for 2 years. They don't hurt you after the 12th month, but they stay on there for 2 years. But at the same time, if you got 30 inquiries, nobody's going to lend to you.
Right.
Nobody. So I always tell people that you want to have no more than 4 inquiries per year on your
Mm-hmm.
credit profile. And if you're getting 0% interest business credit cards, more than likely, if you had the person to guarantee it, those inquiries can be removed from your personal credit profile as well. So that means is if I get a business credit card with Bank of America, Chase, Citi, Navy Federal, I had to PG it, that inquiry will show up on my personal credit profile. But guess what? The inquiry can be removed because that account itself is not showing up on a personal credit profile. And
Got
then we can go back for more funding.
Okay. So clean that up, get that cleaned up. And I heard about a hack, and you can tell me if it's right or not, but where you open multiple pages, right? So say you want to apply for a credit card for the first time. Like you're someone you got good credit, but you don't have a credit history. Because that's the other myth out there. Some people feel like if they don't have any credit, that's a good thing, and that's not necessarily a good thing in terms of my understanding, right? It's like you want to be able to show that you can basically utilize money in the proper way and have the discipline and be able to pay lenders back. So someone had told me you open multiple screens, right? And you apply for a credit card for multiple credit cards at one time. So it's equivalent to one inquiry. Is that
Absolutely.
like a correct that
Yes, you can do
okay.
that. You can do that. And you can do that with Truist Bank. Truist Bank. So let's just say with Truist Bank, you can get a couple credit cards. But what you have to do is once you fill out the information with Truist Bank, you go freeze your credit. And then once you freeze your credit, you apply for all those cards and you accept those cards. Inquiry won't show up.
Got it.
So another hack is that a lot of it's not really a hack. So let's just say Wells Fargo. I'm gonna give you another one. Wells Fargo, you can get a personal credit card, a business credit card, and a business line of credit all
Mm,
at the same time. One of my clients got upwards of $80,000 within a matter of 15 minutes. And she was with Wells Fargo for like 10 years and had no idea that she could do that.
right, right. Because they won't tell you.
They definitely gonna tell you. And you
And
can do
what's the difference between the business credit and the business line of credit?
so business credit, you mean business credit cards or business credit?
Business credit card and the business line of credit. Yeah.
Oh, your business credit card is basically it's a revolving account. It's a credit card that you pull out and you swipe. A business line of credit is totally different from a business credit card. So what happens is they'll drop that line of credit into your account. It's totally different from a loan. So let's just say Wells Fargo give you a $50,000 loan. With that $50,000 loan, you get the whole 50,000, and you got to pay back that 50,000. And once you're done with that loan, you have to apply for another loan. With a line of credit, if they give you 50,000 and all you need is 10,000, you use the 10,000, you pay back the 10,000.
Got it.
That's the difference. So whatever you use on a business line of credit, you just pay that back. If you use the full amount, you pay the full amount back. But the great part about it is it's revolving. And business line of credit is cheap money with the banks. That's cheap money. And then once you pay that 50,000 off, they give you more. They'll give you 75 the next time or 100 the next time. And it just become a ongoing thing where this bank just became your partner
Right.
because they see what you're doing with your money.
Perfect. Y'all heard that. If you didn't catch that, you need to rewind this part back after this episode's over and listen to that again because that really is the cheat code. It's all about how you're balancing these accounts and what you're utilizing the money for. That way you can replace it and then going in the right direction. Like maybe you're someone who needs the business funding or someone who needs the business credit card or you need the line of credit. Like not everyone needs a 50 grand loan. Some people just need that 10 for the moment. So it really depends on, again, like Terry said in the beginning, your strategy, making sure you have a strategy for what you're going to do with this money once you do receive it. Because if you don't have a strategy, especially if you don't come from a place of money and having a system in terms of money as a tool or a resource, if your mindset's not there, you're going to easily just think, oh my God, I got all this money in front of me. I'm going to go buy the Gucci belt or I'm going to go put a
Yeah.
deposit on Lambo, right?
Yep.
Which isn't the smartest thing to do. So in your experience, what is like the top, I would say, challenge that people have when it comes to getting business funding? Is it like you were saying earlier with having the business set up properly, or is it something else? Like what's kind of like the common denominator of the issues that you're solving?
The top challenge is really not having your business structured the right way. And another challenge I always see is that people not being realistic. People,
That's a good one.
people, people want everything. Like I said, instant gratification. They want everything fast without even taking the proper steps to get yourself in position so that once you start getting funding, you can always get funding. So you got to be realistic with yourself and know what you're trying to do. Don't say, because you so many people out there that says, I can help you get 250,000. In a real business sense, like you just said, you don't need 250,000
Right.
to start your business. You probably barely need 50,000. 50,000 should be good to get your business to where it needs to be and get you some investment properties. But at the same time, you got to be realistic. We got to stop chasing everybody that says, I can get you 250,000. I don't need 250,000. I
Hmm.
got multiple businesses. I just need the 50,000 that's going to help my main business become the big business that I want it to be. And then I can start adding extra businesses on top of that.
Oh, we got to mute. Unmute your mic.
Sorry. Can you
No,
hear
there
me?
you go. I can hear you now. Yep.
Yeah. So what I was saying is I just need 50,000 to make my main business become the big business. And
Right.
what I will do with that is once I start making money off of that business, I can fund my other businesses myself
Hmm.
and get to the next level. Like you don't need to chase 250,000 or even 100K because what are you going to do what you going to do with that? Like if you're going to do marketing with all that money, you're not going to be set up properly because you're not ready for all that. A lot of businesses not ready for all that. You got to do automations. You got to make sure you got team in place. You got to
Hmm.
make sure you have the proper systems that can handle everything that you're asking for. If you want 250,000, I promise you, the average business owner can't even manage 250,000.
Right. Exactly. And to your point, it's taking those baby steps because imagine like if someone had the mentality, I'm getting 50K and I'm managing that 50K really well. When you get 100 or maybe even 75, you're still probably going to manage it just as good or even not, if not better because you're starting smaller versus being dumped this large sum of money and you don't know what to do with it. So I think that's an amazing point and that people need to hear that more often because like you were saying earlier, now with the time of social media and everything being instant or people thinking that, you know what, this person started this business yesterday and now they're a millionaire, it doesn't really work out that way. And the vanity metrics of the flashy cars and put this car under your business name, get this G Wagon for a tax write off. It's like just so much information out here where I find that sometimes entrepreneurs who want it fast and quick are not scaling back to the bare basics of saying like, how do I do this the right way? Because Amazon wasn't built overnight, right? Tesla wasn't built overnight. They didn't have their systems and processes right away. Like it took time to get to the level that they're at. So that's an amazing point that you make right there. And I think the people definitely need to hear that. So thank you for that.
You're
In
welcome.
terms of this trade lines, can you talk to us about trade lines a little bit and how that affects business credit, if it does at all?
Yeah, so with trade lines, you got your tier ones, your tier twos, your tier threes, you got the U line, the quills, all that other stuff. What this does for you is you're gonna pay a lot of money, just to add these trade lines because you're spending money to get these trade lines added to your credit profile. What I will say is you don't have to shy away from it. Definitely you can do that. And the reason why you can do that is because it does help strengthens your business credit profile. It does help. But at the same time, I'm not going out here to go get some trade lines with Uline, and I don't need anything from Uline.
Mm,
I'm not going to get trade lines from Granger, and I don't need anything from my business. Don't need anything from Granger. I don't need that. I don't need a floor and decor. If I don't do real estate, what I need that for, I'm not fixing properties. I'm not fixing floors or anything like that. So people need to take in consideration that yes, trade lines is good, but I promise you, I can tell you 125%, no bank is asking you for your trade lines. They're not asking you, do you got Uline? They're not asking you, do you got Granger and Quill and Summa Office Supplies? They're not asking for any of that. They looking at your personal credit score. The trade lines is good to build your business credit profile, but they are
got it.
looking at your personal credit score and your behaviors on the personal side because they want to lend to the person that is more responsible. They want to lend to the person that can stand in front, on the side, and behind that business. Because at the end of the day, your business cannot stand on its own unless you're making like $10 million a month type.
Hmm.
So if you're not making that, you just got to believe that there is some type of risk involved when it comes to these lenders when they look at you. If you're not making consistent money each and every month for the past 5 years, then the trustworthiness is not there. So People, yeah, I got Quill, I got Uline, I got Granger, I got Crown, I got Suma, I got all of this. Man, when we started, me and my wife didn't have none of that. When we
Mm-hmm.
started funding, we got funded off of our personal credit. Like literally. Bank of America's gave us $20,000 in capital from the jump. We didn't have no tier one accounts. The reason being is because we personal guaranteed it. It's a cosigner. I'm co-signing to get this money from our business because I know I'm not going to mess it up.
Right.
I'm going to run my business the way I want it to run because I want to be a Walmart. I want to be a Target. Now, if you want the flashy look and you want to get all these trade lines, just to say you got all these trade lines and they got all these credit groups in on Facebook and they competing for who got the most trade lines, but ain't nobody getting real funding, go do that. But at the same time, you don't need to do that. To get the actual best funding for your business is to build a relationship with the banks.
Mm, that's a good
Build
one.
a relationship with the banks. I wrote a book called How to Become the Bank's Best Friend. If you want to get the bank's money, you have to become their best friend. That means that you have to put traffic in their account, in the banks. They need to show consistency that you are feeding them money. So when they feel like you feeding them money and you go ask for a line of credit or you go ask for a business credit card, they're gonna be like, why not, Terry? You've been giving me money all these years. Here, let me bless you with this. And then once you use that money, they're gonna be like, hey Terry, you need more money? Hey Stizzo, I seen that you used that 25,000 and you paid it back fairly quickly. Let me give you 50,000. I know you got this real estate deal that you was thinking about. Just in case you thinking about it, here, I put the extra 25 in your bank account for you.
Right.
That's getting the money. That's getting the funding that you really need. It's becoming the bank's best friend.
Right. Dope. So make sure y'all one get the book, How to Become the Bank's Best Friend, because that's important. That's key, and build that relationship. And I heard someone else say that as well. I forget exactly who it was, but I know it was a female that was listening to a podcast, and she said build a relationship with your banker so that you can always go to them and get the support that you need, because it's all about like what's the communication and what's the need for need. If you bring in the money, they're gonna give you more money. If you managing your money, they're gonna give you more money. So
Exactly.
good tip right there. And now, for those people, in terms of setting up their business correctly, right? What banks do you recommend they start their business banking account with? And should they be using Cash App to accept payments?
Oh my God. I just had to holler at one of my clients today. My one of my
Nah, holler.
Oh my God. You look, we get down and dirty with our clients. Like
I love it.
it's accountability at this point. You a business owner. I know what you're trying to do. I'm gonna give it to you raw. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it and say, "Oh, it's okay." No, we're not doing that. Cash app, no way. I had a client that ran $100,000 in her business last year before she was my client. In her
Mhm.
business last year through Cash App.
Wow.
Well, just imagine if she had a merchant account, Stripe or Square, a merchant account, where she ran that same 100,000 through her merchant account. What Stripe would do is, there we go again about becoming the bank's best friend. Stripe see what she's doing. Stripe gonna say, "Hey, you running a lot of money through here. Did you need an extra 50 on top of that?" I'm just being real. It's happened to us time and time and time again. Did you need some extra money to go with that? Because now you got all this cash, you can keep your cash and you can use our money. Because what they doing is they taking that money from somebody else and they using OPM so that they can get interest off of you and give and pay their next person back.
Right.
No, we're not doing Cash App. We're not doing Zelle. We're not doing that at all. We setting up our business and we making sure that we get in a merchant account because you want to look fundable. If you don't have a merchant account, you don't look fundable. If you don't have a business bank account, technically the business hasn't really even started.
Right.
It hasn't even started. So the banks I will start with is your local bank or your local credit union. You know, you start off with your local credit union because a lot of us has been in bed with this bank for years and years and years. Call the bank, speak with a business banker, and see what type of business products they offer. They may offer business lines of credit. They may have three, four, five business credit cards that they offer, but nobody knows about it because they're not the high tier one bank. They're not the national, they're not your Chase or your Bank of America or your city. They're not that bank. They're your local credit union. And we tend to shy away from it because they're not as big as we think they are. But I
Right.
tell you, these local credit unions and these regional banks, they got some gems when it comes to business credit. So, for instance, we all know about Navy Federal.
Mm-hmm.
Navy Federal is up and coming right now when it comes to their business sector. They're not as good as a Bank of America. No, I'm not saying that. But if you build that relationship, they'll give you what you need. They'll give you what you need. We got another one, Truist Bank. Truist Bank will give you anything that you need as long as you are building that relationship.
Mm-hmm.
You have to build a relationship. And then I'll go with another bank, which is once you get your credit union, your local credit union or bank, then you go to the regional bank, which is something like Truist. Then you can go to a bank like PNC, Bank of America, one of those high tier banks, because with PNC, I want to say PNC has about somewhere around 10 business credit cards that you can actually apply for.
Okay.
So even if they give you 3 business credit cards, you're already in the door. You're already in the door. So that means that, okay, I know I got at least 7 more business credit cards I can choose from this bank alone. You build that relationship with that bank. You don't have to get, 1,000 banks. But if you start off with your local credit union, then you go to the regional bank, then you get one national bank, you can get multiple funding from each bank. Those 3 banks alone can get you $90,000 a piece
Mm-hmm.
with a business credit card, a personal credit card, and a business line of credit. Even if you don't need a personal credit card, a business line of credit and a business credit card will be enough in itself because you can use that 0% interest credit card and you can liquidate that and go travel for free.
Right. Got to get them rewards in.
Absolutely.
It's all about that. And they say, if you have a debit card and you use a debit card, you are hustling backwards.
Backwards,
Right.
backwards. You're
Yep.
losing money.
Losing money. So, man, that was good information. That was a lot of great information. And so, I want to kind of bring it home on this point because I think it's really critical for people to understand the difference between the gurus out here and the experts who are really doing this thing. In your opinion, what are some what are top 3 things in terms of ethics and character traits that someone should look for when sourcing out someone to help them rebuild their credit? And then let the people know where they can find you because I'm pretty sure the 3 things are going to be what you got anyway.
Yep. So basically, you want the people that you want to look for is somebody that has integrity. If you have been following this person for years and this person has been in that same space for years, then for one, that person is probably a good person. And then on social media, you got to realize, okay, what works for you? You know, don't think about what works for them. What works for you? Does this person do anything that you can relate to when they go live, or their videos, or their content? Are they giving you valuable information within their content? If they're giving you value information within their content, check their link out. See if they got some openings that you can talk to. Some you might have to pay for, but even with me, I got free openings. I still talk to people for free. Why? Because I don't do it for money. I
Mhm.
do this for impact and changing lives. You can call me right now and say, hey, man, I got a dilemma. Like, and tell me what's going on within your business or within your personal, even in your personal life. Like, I don't see myself as a guru or an expert or a life coach. I see myself as a leader and really just wanted to affect change. So, integrity is one. Somebody that has integrity, somebody that's been doing it and you know they've been doing it and that's what they talk about, they've been talking about, that's ethics. And somebody that you can actually relate to. Like when I chose my first mentor was somebody that I actually looked up to.
Mm.
Wasn't flashy. He's nobody you will probably find on the internet.
Right.
It's somebody I found him at a conference because when my wife first started our business, he was in the same space. He was in the same space, but he was with one of those higher companies like Lexington Law. He was one of their owners. So I was like, okay, if we really gonna do this, we need to learn from the best, you
Mm-hmm.
know? And and he upheld integrity, he upheld accountability and responsibility, he upheld family, and that's one thing that I aspire. I'm a family man. I'm a family man. You can see my family. I talk about my wife. I talk about my kids. I talk about my clients because my clients is my family.
Mm-hmm.
So I would definitely say what works for you. Find out the person. Now, it is a lot of fluff you're going to have to sift through. You're going to have to sift through a lot of fluff. But I promise you, within their content, you can really tell who's genuine.
Mm-hmm.
So, oh, and what how you can find me? King Entrepreneur underscore on Instagram, TikTok, King Entrepreneur on Facebook, all platforms.
There you go. King Entrepreneur. Man, Terry, you gave us some gems. And I have one last question. And
Go
I
ahead.
think this is really, it's not about credit and business funding necessarily, but it's about foundation and the fact that you are married and you and your wife are working together to run this business. What advice would you give to the people out there who are in a situation where they're working with their partner or their spouse within their business? How do they take it to the next level and keep the unit together when it comes to family and business? Because it's two different things you got to merge together and make it work.
So, work at work. That's for one. Work at work. When you're at home, be in the moment. And another thing is you gotta establish roles. Now, we had this problem in the beginning. My wife was the face for years. She still is the face. Credit with Kiara. She's supposed to be on this call, but she's not feeling well. She
Oh,
said she
so I hope you feel
apologized.
better. It's all
Uh,
good.
but we established roles. Like, my wife is the visionary. My wife is systems. She's the brains behind all the operations. And I'm more so like the go-getter. I'll everything that she has in her brain and everything she's implementing on the back end, I go implement it on the front end. She
Mm,
say, hey, we need this done. This is automated. We're gonna make this talk, this system talk, this system talk. We need you to go talk, or we need you to go to the school or do whatever you got to do, get in front of more people. And it's just a team thing. Establish roles early and often. Why? Because I don't know nothing about systems. I don't even want to learn it. She showed me automations. I don't even want to learn it, babe. That's you. I'll do what I do best,
right.
And this is kind of what it is. You want to establish roles, but at the same time, you don't want to make it all about business in marriage or in a relationship. Why? Because that will ruin your relationship.
Mm,
Will. And the reason why we got into this space because 86% of marriages fail due to finances. So
yep.
we're trying to keep families back together like Big Mom and Granddaddy back in the day, you
Right.
know? And we want that real love. Like, nah, I'm just faking love around people. No, that real love. And we want to show people that we love each other genuinely. We are great husbands and wives. We are a great family man and a great family woman. But at the same time, we're going to help you get to the top with navigating your finances and making sure that my wife just don't have perfect credit. I both have perfect credit. Now we make a power team.
Right. That's dope. Man, that was good. Thank you for answering that because I think, again, it's important, especially for our community, to see that you can work together. You can be a dynamic duo. You can make a marriage work and a business work with your partner. It's just check in often. And the best part, what you said right there, was establish those roles immediately and often, right? So, not just in the beginning, but keep looking at, okay, what are our roles this year? What are our goals this year? And how do we align ourselves and our strengths and putting the right people in the right place in the right seat? That was good, Terry. Thank you so much for your time today. Y'all, if you are just tuning in, you might have missed all, no, not might, you've missed all the good information. So I need you to go ahead and rewatch this episode on why it's necessary to establish credit in your business so that you can max out and become a 6, 7, 8 figure and beyond entrepreneur. So this is an Imperfect Action Show. We'll see you on the next episode. Terry, thank you so much.
Thank
Tell
you.
Terry, I hope Shakira, I hope she feels better, and we'll see you guys soon.
Peace. Thank you.